day's been good. I've been pretty nervous, just prepping for Brighton SEO the entire day. Had to get a USB stick this morning, which was great fun last minute. But yeah, besides that, it's been a good day out, good fun.
Good experience.
Yeah, looking forward to doing my talk now.
Yeah.
Super VIP. Yeah, it's been cool. Been able to practice with some other speakers over there, just run through our first 5 minutes, which has helped with confidence and stuff. So yeah, and it's been nice just to chat to other speakers, see that they're all nervous as well. We're all going through the same stuff. So yeah. All right. It's kind of now I'm about to do it, so it's you just accept that it's happening now, and you're kind of just happy. It's all build up. That's the worst part. But when it's actually happening, you're just right, awesome, let's just do it. So I just want to get on stage now and just do it. Thank you. Hey guys, my name's Max Coupland. I'm a lead SEO consultant at a company called Type A Media. Now, at Type A Media, we work a 4-day work week, and we're able to get away with this because we've learned to be as streamlined as possible wherever we can. We've built tools, processes, and sheets which allow us to leave a lot of the heavy lifting to the machines so that we can focus our expertise on the analysis of the data. So, whenever we find ourselves doing a task like manual data collection, we stop and think, how can we automate this? Now this is great, but why the hell do you guys care how many days a week I work or how happy we are at Type A Media? Well, my titled talk may be how to automate your SEO tasks with custom extraction, but what I'm really here to try and help you guys do today is get back one of the most precious resources in your life, which is time. And more specifically, I'd like to help you guys get back exactly 1 day a week. It's not up to me what you do with this extra day a week. If it means that you can do more work for your clients, fantastic. If it means that you can leave the office before 9 PM most weekdays so that you can go and see your family, even better. Or it may just mean that you want to go spend more time at the pub. Again, it's not up to me what you do this time, and I'm not going to judge you. Now, not everything in SEO can be automated because we can't fit everything into nice, neat little buckets. However, many things can be automated and quite frankly should be, as it still allows us to maintain 100% reliable data, whilst also eliminating the human error which comes from staring at the same Google sheet day in, day out, flicking through cells. Which of course leaves you more time to play Candy Crush while your boss isn't watching what you're doing. Now, it doesn't require you or your company to build your own proprietary tools, processes, or sheets to benefit from this vague concept of saving time that I'm talking about. All it takes is a very basic understanding of 2 concepts: XPATHs, which Sabine has gone into, and REGEX, which is an abbreviation for regular expressions. But before I go into what these things are, you may want to know why the hell you should care about them and how they can help you. So they can basically help you get any information you could possibly want from a web page or a document, no matter how specific, no matter how custom your needs are. So you can have this data automatically pulled at scale and within the palm of your hand within a matter of minutes. I'm sure we're all familiar with the standard SEO crawlers, tools, and apps such as Deep Crawl, Screaming Frog, OnCrawl. And as we know, they come with default extractions, things like title tags, hreflang tags, canonicals. I don't need to go into these, we're all very aware of them. However, every website is built differently, and not every HTML element on a website is specifically for SEO. So it's not possible for these tools to be able to offer you every single HTML element just as a default. But what they can do is offer us the possibility to use custom extraction. And all of your crawlers should hopefully have a custom extraction section. If they don't, it's 2019, you need to move to a new crawler. I don't need to go into the definition of what an XPath is because Sabine brilliantly covered that in her previous talk. But what we haven't covered is what REGEX is. So REGEX is an abbreviation for regular expressions, and it's a special text string for describing a search pattern. So it basically involves combining normal characters, things like letters and numbers, with what are called meta characters. Now, you've probably seen meta characters before. They're otherwise called special characters. It's just things like a question mark, an exclamation mark, an asterisk, or clean star periods. And when you're going and creating passwords for different accounts online, you're always asked to include a special character, and that's basically what it is. So In the next 15 minutes or so, we're going to just scrape the surface of how custom extraction can be used to help you across all areas of SEO. We'll find out how it can be used to help leverage Google's data, how, like we've seen in Sabine's talk, how you can get any kind of information from a website, your own, a competitor's, anyone else, and even how we can build links off of the back of it, which of course as SEOs is all we actually care about. So let's dive straight in. This is a live example. I'm going to actually use real examples of how I've used custom extraction to help me on a specific client. So this isn't all just theory and bullshit. And this client has over 8 million, not just URLs, HTML URLs on their website, which is absolutely insane. Now, I can't realistically expect my crawler to be able to manage this crawl without it taking a week to run and without it potentially crashing in that time, especially if I haven't optimized my memory storage by using device storage or by using an SSD or something like that. So what I'm going to do is use a bit of crawl control to make this more manageable. So we're going to start with some very basic kind of custom extraction examples, and we'll get more and more complicated as we go along. So your crawler should hopefully have an exclude section in it, and all this is basically saying is, hey, I'm giving you a website to crawl, please crawl all of it, but when you encounter anything which I've defined in my exclude section, ignore it, take it away. So what we're doing here, what we're doing here is asking our crawler to crawl this website, example.com, and whenever it reaches a parameter page, you're going to just ignore it. I don't want to know, because at the moment, we're new to the website. So all I want to see is how many subfolders they have, what kind of topics they're writing about, just getting an idea of the breadth of the website. This isn't exactly best practice SEO because you do need to be aware, obviously, of how certain parameters change the content of your website, but it's okay because we're just new to the site, so we can do this for now. If you are a e-commerce client, website, whatever, you know just what your fast navigation can do to the parameters of your URLs and how it can affect the size of your crawl. So this is a real example of a URL. Obviously, I don't work for example.com, but I don't think I need to explain why I've done that. And this particular URL has 48 parameters on it. Now, if your website doesn't have an enforced URL structure, that therefore means that this exact same page, this exact piece of content, can be accessed through 2,304 different URLs. I don't need to go into what an issue that is for duplicate content, but it also makes crawling a website like that just completely impossible. You are quite unlikely to be working on a client that has 8 million HTML URLs. You may do, but a lot of you probably won't. So you may want to still use some of these rules, but crawl certain pages that have a certain amount of parameters. So this regex string right here, you can input into custom extraction into any of your crawlers and it will work. And what it will do is it will crawl your website and it will include URLs that have up to 3 parameters in it. So the 48 parameter example I just used won't be included, but this one, anything up to 3 parameters will be. So I've managed to complete a crawl of this client website, and I've identified one particular section of the site, which is a Learn Chemistry subfolder. So what I want to do now, because there are still hundreds of thousands of URLs in this one subfolder, what I want to do now is take a vertical slicing crawl strategy, which literally just means I just want to look at one section of the website, and I'm going to split that by a top-level subfolder, maybe sitting just off the main nav. So I'm putting an include rule. Again, your crawlers should all be able to do this quite simply. I'm putting an include rule on top of the previous take all parameters out exclude rule, and I'm saying what I want to see is URLs that have no parameters, and I only want to see them if they have a Learn Chemistry subfolder in them. So this is really simple regex here. So the dot and the asterisk, or the period in the asterisk, before Learn Chemistry is simply saying anything at all can go before Learn Chemistry. I don't care, show it to me. And the period in the asterisk after Learn Chemistry is saying, and anything can be appended to this subfolder. It does not matter to me. If it has Learn Chemistry in the URL, show it to me, and don't show me anything else. So that crawl is now completed, making this guy very happy. So now what we're going to do is we're going to dig into this Learn Chemistry section of the website. So we want to identify any content errors, any technical errors, and from just doing a couple minutes of digging around, we can see that they have content in frames like this, which is bloody awful user experience. and it's also very unlikely that we're going to be able to rank for anything with content like this. And even if we are lucky enough to rank for something, for certain keywords with content like this, Google's going to quickly notice how poor the user engagement is with the page, and we're going to lose our position pretty much overnight. So what I could do, if I want to find every instance of content like this on the website, is just spend all day kind of just crawling through URLs, just clicking through different pages, hoping to just come across some of this type of content. I'll probably miss some. It'll probably take me a shit ton of time. And again, it's just not really me optimizing my time, and I'm not going to get back a day a week doing work like this. So I'm not going to spend too long on this section, by the way, because obviously Sabine has covered this kind of stuff, but to keep to my promise to show you how custom extraction can help you across all areas of SEO, it is necessary for me to kind of cover it, so I'll try and be quick. Anyway, what we're going to do is just see what kind of HTML element this type of content is using to be structured on the page, enter it into our crawler, and we'll start to get results like that. While we do next to no work, our crawler is just going to churn out all of the different pages that have this kind of erroneous content on them. So once again, we're letting the machines do the work for us while we do pretty much next to nothing. So what else can we extract? Pretty much anything, but me saying pretty much anything isn't going to help anyone here, especially if no one has any previous knowledge of XPath or REGEX, or like no one can really be bothered to go and learn it. You just want to know, what can I use it for? So these are 3 examples. This top one will find any web page on your website that's missing Google Analytics coding, as long as it's been implemented the standard way. If you're implementing your GA tags through GTM or Cloudflare or something like that, this won't pick it up, just to let you know. The second one will find any iframes that you have in the head of your web pages, and the last one will find any rogue hreflang tags which have been put in the body of your web pages. We know they need to go in the head, but hreflang tags are notoriously and terribly implemented on quite a wide scale. Since we're talking about regex, it seems only right to mention DeepCrawl as a specific crawler, which is fantastic for handling regex. And I say it's fantastic for handling regex mainly because it actually has a built-in regex tester that allows you to basically build a search pattern, test it in a little test environment so that you can see that once you actually were to push that search pattern onto your website through your crawl, that it would actually work, rather than you just like constantly trying to build these really complicated regex strings and just constantly failing. So we have those crawls running, trying to find all of that framed content, and we can sit back and relax. We can grab ourselves a coffee. We could start watching Netflix while our boss isn't watching. I've done that a few times. Or we may be worrying that we still have shitloads to do. So I'm sure we're all familiar with standard keyword research practices here. Google Keyword Planner for getting volumes, SEMrush for rank tracking, scraping our competitor websites for the keywords they rank for, Quora, Answer the Public for query-based keywords, and also people also ask queries. The last one, people also ask queries, may be raising a few eyebrows. It may not be. Some of you may have tools that can do this automatically, like URL Profiler, but I imagine a lot of us here don't. It's definitely information that we know that we want to have. If we've built a 2,000 strong keyword list, it'd be quite nice if for all 2,000 of those keywords, we could scrape and extract the people also ask queries which are appearing for each of our keywords. But of course, we don't want to do any work, and so we're just going to leave it to the machines. So we can now head back to our crawler, because it's been about an hour or two. We've built up a 2,000 word keyword list from our keyword research, and we're ready to export that, save it, download it, send it to a client, do whatever you want with it, hold on to it so it seems like you're working, and then you can send it at the end of the week when you finish watching all 10 seasons of Friends. And so now we're back to our crawler to do a new crawl. Now, Google's SERP is a web page at the end of the day. And like most web pages, they use classes, HTML elements like classes, divs, IDs, styles, blah, 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 to structure their content. So that's all the information that we really need to be able to apply our new custom extraction knowledge. So I'm doing keyword research for the Learn Chemistry section of this client's website. So one of my keywords is going to be, for example, alkali metals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type alkali metals into Google, and I'm going to see that a people also ask box does appear for that keyword. So I'm just going to inspect it. And by the way, this is the class which Google uses for people also ask boxes. It's not going to change. So again, you can take this and use it straight away. I'm going to put it into my crawler, but there is one extra step that we need to do here. Of course, for our own website, we know the URLs that we're asking our crawler to crawl and pull specific information from. Even if it's our competitor websites, we know what URLs they are, and we know we can give that to our crawler and say, crawl these websites and just take these specific HTML elements. But how do you do that for Google? Like we said, Google's SERP is a web page at the end of the day. So this is Google's root URL for search. Again, that's not going to change. That will be what it is for any keyword that you want to kind of scrape, any SERP that you want to scrape. And what we're going to do is we're going to combine it with our keyword. So my keyword is alkali metals. And all you're going to do is replace the spaces between your keyword with pluses, because again, that's just how Google does it. So for our keyword list, we now have a whole bunch of URLs that we can feed our crawler and tell it to pull the people also ask queries for all of these keywords. And this is what we're going to start to see. I had to blow this up and take out the kind of root Google URL just to kind of show you, especially for those of you in the back. But as you can see, PAA is pulling the people also ask queries, and this is going to go across horizontally. It's not just one. Go up to 4 for all of your keywords, again, while you do pretty much no work. So the day is still young, and there's plenty more that we can be getting on with. We now have a huge keyword list. We have 2,000 keywords, and we have all the people also ask queries for them, which of course we could use as subheadings in all of our new pages we're going to create. There may be some keywords that we missed that appear in that people also ask list, but we need to categorize all of our keywords because there's nothing that a client or anyone hates more than just being shipped an Excel which has 2,000 keywords and going, there you are, enjoy. I'm not going to categorize these. I'm not going to tell you where the opportunity lies. I'm not going to tell you which ones are transactional, which ones are informational. Just take your fucking keywords and that's it. So what we need to do is categorize all of these keywords, and we're going to categorize them based on user intent. Now, I really, really wish I could steal the credit for this idea and pass it off as my own, but I can't, and that wouldn't be right. So it is the genius work of Rory Truesdale from Conductor, and he combines custom extraction with a splash of genius and a few nifty formulas in Excel or Google Sheets, whatever you're using, that basically allows you to scrape all of the title tags that are ranking, the top like 20 title tags that are ranking for your keyword, and then based on the content that Google's returning for that keyword, this formula is going to basically classify, right, well, Google believes that this keyword has transactional intent or it has informational intent. So once again, we're scraping Google. And because this is quite an advanced kind of tactic, I'm using Screaming Frog here, so you will need to play around with some of the configurations. I'm going to tweet out this whole presentation along with my script. Actually, this is not just me just like doing it off the cuff, it is completely rehearsed. And you'll see that if you follow my tweet onto the Type A website where I've got this entire bit of presentation on, so you'll be able to get all of these slides. This isn't a plug. The Screaming Frog is free for up to 500 URLs. It's an awesome tool. I'm sure pretty much everyone here knows it, but if one person doesn't, there it is. But beyond 500 URLs, you will have to pay just like the rest of us. So what we're going to do for our keywords is just scrape the title tags that are appearing for each keyword. This is the XPath. Could not be more simple. It's simply saying select the current node, and it's an H3. Google uses H3 for title tags, so that is all you need to enter into your crawler. The exact same way that we just did with people also ask, we're going to construct our Google URL. This is the exact same URL we just used for PAA, and I'm using the exact same example. And as you can see, it's going to start to pull all the title tags that are ranking for all of your keywords. And again, this will go horizontally across the screen for as many cells as you define. I think mine was like 20 for the top 20, because I don't really think you need more than 20 title tags. Beyond that is kind of just shit. So that's not where the magic lies. This is just the setup. So what we can do is export this to Google Sheets, and this horrible looking formula, which is actually genius, is where all the magic happens, and this is the formula that Rory gave us. Now, what this formula is doing is it's looking at all of the different title tags that you've just pulled, and it's trying to find certain words in them. If it finds certain words, such as what, why, how, in the title tag, it's going to assume that that title, or that result is informational. If it then notices that most of the title tags for that keyword are classified as having informational intent, it's going to say Google believes this keyword to have informational intent. And that's all that really matters, is what Google believes at the end of the day user intent to be, because it's the one ranking content based off of its assumptions. Similarly, there's also words in there you might be able to see, such as buy, purchase, download, etc. And it's also looking at these title tags and saying, right, I've not seen how, what, why, when, but I have seen download. So if it finds download, it's going to say this title tag or this result is transactional. And if it notices a trend, it's going to say this keyword has transactional search intent. So what you're going to start to see is them being classified by transactional results, informational results, and navigational results for a 2,000 strong keyword list. And this is how we'll start to see it. And this is the template which Rory gave us. A few slides up, I did provide the link where I first kind of discovered this on Search Engine Land, and you can download and use the exact same template. I've, on purpose, left some of these rows as intent not found, and I've done that because this isn't a bulletproof technique. No SEO technique ever is, but I feel like everyone always tries to say that their stuff is the best thing since sliced bread. So I'm trying to add, like, I guess, a bit of transparency to say you will have to do some manual human intervention here. But the point is, would you rather be manually vetting 2,000 keywords or 20? Again, it's all just about maximizing your time. So this is what we're going to see start to happen. Now, obviously, learn chemistry, pretty self-explanatory. It's all very educational. It's going to be informational. So all of my keywords have been classified as information intent, at least in this little sample set. So let's just recap what we've done so far, because we've flown through quite a lot. So far in one day, we've managed to drastically reduce the size of an 8 million HTML URL website scroll. We've managed to identify thousands of content errors while we did next to no work. We have done keyword research, and we've pulled all the people to ask queries for our 2,000 strong keyword list, and we've categorized them by intent, and it's still only 4 p.m. Those poor machines doing all of our work for us while we watch Netflix. So, have we got our day a week back yet? Is mission accomplished? Well, no, not quite yet. I said that I'd discuss how custom extraction can be used to help you across all areas of SEO. And so far, I've helped, or hopefully helped you guys see how you can use it in technical SEO, how you can build relevance around your page, or how you can improve the relevance of your website. But we've not discussed link building yet, or authority. But, of course, you can build links with custom extraction. And, of course, this is the only thing we care about. So, this next use case of custom extraction, the first bit of genius was Rory's, and the second was Type A Media. Shock horror, I'm saying that. So, as a result of one of our ideation sessions, we set out to create a parent salary tool, which would essentially tell parents how much they'd get paid if being a parent was a profession, just like any other profession. To do this, we needed to collect salary information on salaries like educators or teachers, taxi drivers, cleaners, psychologists, pretty much everything. But of course we needed to do this at scale, because we needed to have a large enough sample size so that we were taken seriously by national publications. Not only that, but we wanted to split the salaries and this overall salary that we were going to give parents down by region, so that we could say, if you're a parent in Birmingham, this would be your yearly salary. If you're a parent in London, this would be your yearly salary. But of course, we didn't have time to do this manually, and that's again not us maximizing our time. So, before I go into this, is there anyone here from read.co.uk? Thank God. Right, because we scraped all of their data. So hashtag sorry, not sorry. And what we did is, thanks to their very on-point URL architecture, we were able to scrape the salary information that we wanted from all the different professions, from all the different regions as well. So using the concepts we've already discussed here, what we're going to do is find the class which Reed used to show their salaries, and then, which is obviously right here. So we found the HTML element. And then we're going to create the XPath, which is very simply, it can be any kind of element as long as it contains class, which equals salary. Put it into our crawler, and this is what we got. So we let this run for about a day, maybe two, and what we had in the end was about 300,000 job listing URLs that had on average 20 job listings on each page, which meant that we had roughly 6 million data points to enter into our tool, which I think just about takes us over the threshold for being taken seriously from a sampling point of view. So then all we needed to do was average out all this information, clean the data, split it by profession, and then split it by region. And then we had a tool that was ready to go, so you can simply enter the city that you want to find out your parent's salary for, fill in the hours, and then find your parent's salary, and immediately it just gives you an overall figure, which is then split by year for all these professions, and then you get an hourly rate as well. And that was it. This is a live campaign, which was still running on. We just kind of started it, but as you can see, it has worked with the regionals to get us placements in publications. We are also going to, well, I say we're also going to, until someone tells Reed, we are going to expand this to cover American cities and salaries, and also Australia, Canada, and basically just push it out to those regional publications as well. So just to kind of finish off, Google has a database, a dataset search engine, which allows websites to upload stats and data, so you can basically find a topic that's related to your client or your website and see how you can scrape that data for your own benefit. So that's pretty much it. We've covered how custom extraction can help you across all areas of SEO. We've hopefully learned to let the machines do the work for us wherever we can. We've also learned, especially thanks to Rory, that the limits to what you can do with custom extraction are just down to the limits of your own imagination. And hopefully somewhere in this talk you found a way that you can get yourself back a day a week. Thank you.